Hi, I am Zina from Honey Beads and today I'm filming this video for the PotomacBeads company. All the beads and materials that you see in this video are available at the PotomacBeads company website. They have a flat rate shipping of $2.99 to the VS and Canada, free over a purchase of $75, and a flat rate shipping of $9.99, free over a purchase of $150 worldwide. Today I'm going to show you how to make this bracelet, and this bracelet is not very hard to make. This bracelet makes with 5 components a 7 3/4 inch bracelet. If you want to make it smaller, you can use 4 components and then it will make a 6.5 inch bracelet. So in that case you will need a piece of lengthening chain. I'm going to show you how to make this bracelet today on a little practice piece. I chose to use contrasting colors so that you can really see what I'm doing. So I'm just going to show you how to make this on a little piece, because the bracelet itself, it's just a repeating of steps and just connecting the components together. So when I make it on a little piece like this, it is still easy to follow. So I hope you will like this tutorial, and let's start. So the materials you will need. You will need SuperDuos, and I'm using 2.5 grams per component. So depending on how large you make your bracelet, just keep in mind 2.5 grams per component. You will need beads, and I'm using 1 tube. So you can just buy 1 tube and you will have enough. You're going to use 36 beads per component. You will need seed beads, and I'm using Miyuki seed beads in black. You will need a pair of pliers to close your rings and attach your clasp. You will need a beading needle, and I'm using this beading needle in size 10. You can also use a size 12. You need something to cut your thread with. You will need 2 size 6mm rings. You will need a clasp. You optional need some lengthening chain. And you will use some wildfire, and I'm using this in 0.50mm. You can also use this in 0.20mm. I actually think that is even better because it makes the work a little bit more sturdy. But if you like a bracelet that really fits softly on your skin, you can use 0.50mm. To start, we're going to thread our needle with half an arm span of wildfire. Half an arm span is from the tips of your fingers to the halfway your chest. So it's literally half an arm span. Now we're going to pick up 6 SuperDuos and 6 beads, and we're going to alternate them. So 1 SuperDuo, 1 bead, 1 SuperDuo, and you're going to do this until you have 6 on. As you can see, now I have 6 on, so 6 beads and 6 SuperDuos, and I'm going to slide them down. Leave a little bit of tail so that you have something to grab on. And now we're going to reinforce all the beads. So I'm just going through the beads, so just all the bottom holes, and pull. Now we're going to do this 2 times around. So you're going through all the beads, and then when you end here, so here you have your tail, you're going to do this 1 more time again, and you're going to end in the SuperDuo. When you've done that, I'm coming back to you. Now, I went through the beads, and I'm going through the next bead. So I'm stepping up, and then I'm going through the top hole of the next SuperDuo, and pull. Now I'm going to pick up 1 bead, 2 SuperDuos, and 1 bead, and I'm going through the next top hole of the next SuperDuo, and pull, and it will look like this. And now we're going to do that all around. When you ended this row, we're going through the next bead and the next bottom hole of the next SuperDuo. So the next bead and the next bottom hole of the next SuperDuo, and pull. And then we're going through the top hole of the next SuperDuo, and pull. Now we're going to pick up 1 bead, one SuperDuo and one O bead. And we're going through the next top hole of the next SuperDuo and pull. Now we're going to pick up one SuperDuo, one O bead and one seed bead. We're going to lay our work down and we're going to slide down the beads. Now we're going through the O bead and again through the second hole of the SuperDuo. So that's the hole that is next to the one that we're coming out of. And then we're going through the next top hole of the next SuperDuo and pull. Now make sure this lays very well against the work. Give it a gentle tug. And it will look like this. I'm going to repeat this one more time so that it is clearly what we do here. We're going to pick up one O bead, one SuperDuo and one O bead. And we're going through the next top hole of the next SuperDuo and pull. And now we're going to pick up one SuperDuo, one O bead and one seed bead. And we're going to slide them down. We're going to skip the seed bead and we're going through the O bead and through the second hole, so the hole that we didn't went through yet, of the SuperDuo. And then we're going to stitch through the next top hole of the next SuperDuo and pull. Give it a gentle tug and it will look like this. Now we're going to do that all around. Now we added all the beads and we're going to step up through the next O bead and pull, because we're coming out of this SuperDuo and we're going through this next O bead, and we're going through the top hole of the next round duo, or sorry, the next SuperDuo here. And my hole is clogged, so I need to open it a little. That sometimes happens with SuperDuos. And now we're going to pick up 8 seed beads. And always recount that you have enough. And we're going to stitch through that same SuperDuo in the opposite direction. And pull. Now we're going to turn our work so that it's in front of us. And we're going through the next 2 seed beads. And pull. We're going to pick up 1 seed bead. And we're going through the next 2 seed beads. And pull. I'm going to do this one more time, laying it flat. So I'm going to pick up 1 seed bead and I'm going through the next 2 seed beads. Like this. And again I'm going to pick up 1 seed bead and now I'm going through the next 2 seed beads and also through the SuperDuo bead. And pull. And now we're going to reinforce this loop. So you're going through all the beads one more time again until you come out of the SuperDuo. Now I went through the beads one more time again and I'm going through the next 3 seed beads. And pull. And now we're going to make a knot loop here. So what we're going to do, we're going underneath the thread, so in between the SuperDuos, oh sorry, the seed beads. And we're going to pull our thread there and we're going to stitch through the loop with our needle. And we're going to pull it. So you're just basically going to make a knot on the thread that is already there. And then we're going to stitch through the next 3 seed beads. If you find it easier, you can also make, or safer, you can also make this knot loop 2 times. But I'm making it 1 time because it's already a little bit hard after this to go through the bead. So I chose to do it in this way. So I'm going through the next 3 seed beads and pull. Give it a gentle tug. And now we're going to cut our thread. So I'm getting my thread cutter and I'm cutting it there. like this. So our component looks like this. So now what we're going to do, we're going to make another component. And you're going to stop at the point that we made the loop, because with the next component we're going to attach them to each other, and I'm going to show you that in an example. I already made this one in copper. And as you can see, we connected the two here. So I connected the two in the same way. So this is just your end loop, and you're going to make this at the end also. And now we're going to make one component, and then we're going to attach them here together. So make one component and stop at the point where you were going to make a loop. Now as you can see, I made the second component, and we're going to lay them facing each other. I'm coming out of this SuperDuo, and I want to go through this SuperDuo. That is the SuperDuo that lines up with the loop. We're going to pick up 4 seed beads, and we're going through that second hole, so that top hole of the next SuperDuo. So on the other side, like this. And now we're going to pick up 4 seed beads, and I'm going through that other hole, so the hole that we just went out of the SuperDuo on the other side again, and pull. As you can see, now it's already connected. We're going to pick up our work, and we're going through the next 2 seed beads and pull. We're going to pick up 1 seed bead, and we're going through the next 2 seed beads and through the next bottom hole there of the next SuperDuo and pull. And we're going to do this one more time, laying down. So we're going through the next 2 seed beads like this and pull. We're going to pick up 1 seed bead, and we're going through the next 2 seed beads and the SuperDuo and pull. And it will look like this. Now we're going to reinforce this loop, so we're going through the 5 seed beads, the SuperDuo, the 5 seed beads, and the SuperDuo again. Now I went through all the seed beads, and I'm going through the next 3 seed beads again. This can get a little tight, so take your time, especially when you use 0.20 millimeters of thread. So size 0.20 millimeters, it can be get a little bit stiff. We're going to make 1 knot loop, so like we did before, we're going to go underneath our thread, and we're going into the loop with our needle, and we're going to give this a gentle tug to place it in the right place, and then pull all the way and give it a gentle tug, and in this way we have a knot on the thread there. And then I'm going through the next 2 seed beads, and this can get a little tricky, so take your time with this also, because you need to find the right angle to go through the seed beads. And you don't want to tug on it too hard. Like this, and if you have sweaty hands like me, you can also use your plier to pull it through. Sometimes your flat nose plier is really your best friend. And pull. Now you're going to lay the work down, and you're going to cut your thread. So I'm going to take my clippers, and you're going to cut your thread here. You're also going to do the same on the back here. So what we're going to do now, and I'm not cutting my thread because I'm going to show you. When you want to make this 7 3/4 of an inch, you're going to make 5 components. When you want to make it 7 inch, you will make this 6.5 inch, and we're going to use some lengthening chain. So it all depends on how big your wrist is and how large you want to make this. So you're going to make 2 more or 3 more components now. And what you're going to do, you're going to make 2 or 3 components, and then you're going to end them, so connect them together. But with the last component, and I'm going to show you, So this is the last component. We need to connect it on this side, but we also need to make the loop on this side. So when you make your last component, don't forget to not cut your thread, because we need to go to the other side and we're going to attach this loop here. That is what I'm going to show you right now, because I can show you on this practice piece how you're going to do that. What you're going to do when you make this loop, you're going through it and just going to do the same except for cutting your thread. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going through this SuperDuo and I'm going through the seed beads until I come out of the SuperDuo again. Okay, now I come out of the SuperDuo, and what we're going to do now is very easy. We're going through the beads until we reach the opposite side. So as you can see, we made a loop here. So we're going to reach this SuperDuo as that is the opposite side, because we need to end the loop there. So what we're going to do, we're going through the beads, and there's no science to this. You're just going through the beads in the way the beads want to go. So for example, you can go through the next SuperDuo downwards and through the next O bead and then through the next SuperDuo again. And as I said, there is no science to this. If you make it through your own way, that's totally fine. Then I'm going through that same SuperDuo, so I'm going up and then through the O bead and then through the next SuperDuo and through the next O bead. So I'm coming out of this one and I'm going into that one in the other hole, then through the O bead, the next SuperDuo and the next O bead, and pull. And then I'm going up through the next bottom holes of the next two SuperDuos. So this is just an example to show you how you can go through the beads, but you can do it in your own way. And then I'm going through the next O bead, the next SuperDuo and the next O bead, and pull. And then I'm going through the next two SuperDuos. So that's the bottom hole of the next two SuperDuos. And then I'm going through the next two SuperDuos, the next O bead, SuperDuo and the next O bead, like this. So I'm going downward, so through the next O bead, the next SuperDuo and the next O bead, and pull. And then I'm going through the next two SuperDuos, so the bottom holes of the next, so the above two SuperDuos, and pull. And now we're almost there, so I'm going through the next O bead and the next bottom hole of the next SuperDuo, so that's here, and pull. And as I said, there is no science to this. If you can't follow this, or you can just make and go your own way, it really doesn't matter as long as you follow the ways of the beads and then end in this SuperDuo. And then I'm going through the top hole of this next SuperDuo, like this. And now we're going to do exactly the same as we did in the beginning. So imagine that you now have 4 or 5 components on, and we're just going to pick up 8 seed beads, like this, and we're going through that same SuperDuo in the opposite direction. And now we're going to go through the next 2 seed beads and pull. We're going to pick up 1 seed bead, and we're going to go through the next 2 seed beads, and we're going to do this one more time. So we're going to pick up 1 seed bead, and we're going through the next 2 seed beads, pick up 1 seed bead, and we're going through the next 2 seed beads in the SuperDuo, and pull. And now we're going to reinforce this loop, so we're going through all the beads again. And I'm just going to show you that because it's not a lot of work. So just through all the beads. I'm really doing this to make the loop more sturdy. And then through the next 2 seed beads and the SuperDuo. So this is just the same as the loop as we made in the beginning. We're going through the next 2 seed beads and pull, and we're going to make a knot loop here. And there's no science to this. If you go through the next 3 seed beads and then make a knot loop, or you're going through the next 2 seed beads, it's just what you're comfortable with and what you like the most. So I'm going to make 1 knot loop here. You can also make 2. And then we're going through the next few seed beads, just to make sure that my knot won't come undone, because it has something to hold on to. And pull. And then you're going to cut your thread. So if this was your last component, you're now finished. Like this. And then you will have a bracelet that will look like this one. So you can make these 4 or 5 components, just what you like. The only thing you need to do now is that you're going to attach your clasp. So what you're going to do, sorry for the noise. What you're going to do, you're going to take your pliers and you're going to open a ring. You're going to simply attach it to the loop, and then you're going to attach your clasp and you're going to close it up. And you're going to do the same on the other side. So this looks a little bit funny when you made a small piece. But I think you can get the picture. And then you're going to attach your lengthening chain. So that's optional. If you made 4, I would advise you to use a piece of lengthening chain. And then you would have a whole bracelet. So it would look like this. So that's all there is to it. So I really hope you liked this tutorial. Please give me a thumbs up if you liked this tutorial. Subscribe to PotomacBeads Company. Subscribe to me. I am Zina from HoneyBeads, and you can find me on YouTube. And I hope to see you next time. Bye. Have a nice day.